That's right, fellow armchair Imagineers. It's late at night, Tuesday night, and you know what that means on the So You Want to Be an Imagineer YouTube channel. It's time for the Just Giggle It grab bag number 6. And Just Giggle It grab bag is the show where we look at all the sketches that have come to form Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world. Everyone's favorite fan film series on the internet. Dragon, that's a fact, right? That's just like look it up in the encyclopedia or whatever, and it's like, what's the best fan film series on the internet? Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world.
Well, I think it's like an inalienable fact that we all hold deep in our hearts, deep down. Like we know it's to be true. It's like, yeah, of course, Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world, folks. It's the fan film that's sweeping the nation. If you like Batman, by proxy, if you like the Joker, you like the Batman rogues, you love the Joker, because why wouldn't you? And of course, who's a byproduct of the Joker in the best of ways? Harley Quinn. And what if you took those characters, you moved into LA, and saw the shenanigans that ensued? Look no further, folks. You go to Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the Real World, a Just Giggle It production. You'll be blown away. You'll be laughing, but you'll also stop yourself while you're laughing, while you're catching your breath from the tears and the laughter is coming out of your face. And you say, wow, this is hilarious, but it's so well done, and it's so true to these characters. It's kind of an amalgamation of the best of. Not only that, folks, you're going to want to check out specifically episode 5 and watch them all. Watch them all if you're a completionist.
Dragon, I was actually just watching episode 5 again right before we went on air.
I know it's still, again, folks. It's very
up so well. Oh my god!
And folks, I swear to you, we're not. I'll swear on any Bible here, folks. Again, we're not just saying to talk up episode 5. At least for me, I believe Tiki, you share the same opinion, but I don't know if.
Episode 5, I think, like in all due respect to the others, like they're all great, but episode 5 is just kind of in a class of its own, I think.
Because again, episode 5 is kind of a standalone in many respects. I know it continues our story, but by the same token, it's a really kind of contained adventure for Joker and Harley, and it's great from start to finish, and it feels very. The reason I love it, and real quick, so we can just get back on point.
Yeah, right.
The reason, because again, folks, this episode.
Commercial.
Here's the thing, folks. Episode 5 is so good, we can just talk about it again. We can go through it again, but we're not going to.
And Dragon, if you order episode 5 now, we'll also throw in this amazing complimentary set of steak knives.
Ginsu knives, folks. Ginsu spelled different, so we don't get sued. No, okay, no, sir. Oh, JGI logo on it too. Anyway, okay, no seriousness, folks. Right, folks, it has like a great Paul Dini vibe. If you're an animated series fan, if you're a fan of one of the best writers on the Joker, Paul Dini, it has such a Paul Dini vibe of the Joker stories. That's why I love episode 5. It's probably my favorite out of the whole. Have a whole bunch. Watch them all, but watch episode 5. Send it to you. Send it to your mother. Send it to your friends, your family, even your pets. Send it to everybody.
I believe it's not even to 100,000 views yet, Dragon. That's a freaking crime.
Folks, you can change that. We're going to get it to 1 million so we get more excellent episodes of Harley Quinn, the Joker versus the real world. Watch episode 5. Make it happen. Be part of the solution. Not the problem. Okay.
And why not order 1 set of steak knives when you could order 2 or even 3?
Yeah, because you need some for the holidays. You need some for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, for Grandparents' Day, for Teachers Appreciation Week.
Anyway. Dragon, I could go off on a whole tangent about like nostalgia of my dad and I like staying up late at night watching infomercials, but I won't bore you with the details. Anyways, folks, Just Giggle It grab bag. So before Harley Quinn and the Joker versus the real world, the good folks at Just Giggle It, the folks behind that show, they did a whole series of sketch comedy, the Just Giggle It sketch comedy show, which the YouTube channel is named after. Now, folks, we've covered 10 so far, because in each of these grab bags, we do 2 apiece. We do a parody and then an original sketch. So we're kind of coming upon like the double digits here in terms of covering these sketches, Dragon, and I'm loving it so far. I'm having a blast. So tonight we're going to be talking about Ryan Gosling's funeral, a really original premise, and I must say, like, I'm dying to know the origins of this premise. And we're also going to be talking about one of my personal favorite sketches, because I'm such a Disney nerd, the Disney princes in real life. Here.
Thanks, Ping.
All right. Okay, so Dragon, we're going to start with Ryan Gosling's funeral, and there's a very specific reason why we chose Ryan Gosling's funeral. Now, folks, you bore with us while we promoted someone else's content. Now you're going to have to kind of bear with us as we promote our own content here for a second.
Yeah, just real quick, folks. We're doing a pitch. 'Cause Tiki and I would love to do kind of a pitch, kind of like an outline of like what we'd love to see done in a biopic. Because Tiki and I we're biopic fanatics. Him with the Social Network, myself.
You actually just you're 10 minutes away from finishing my not just my all-time favorite biopic, but one of my favorite films ever, The Social Network.
Exactly. I think we kind of dated ourselves with that, but yes, that's true. And yes, of course, biopic fanatic myself. Of course, something like Chaplin, disaster artist, the founder, say Mr. Banks. I'm a huge enthusiast for the biopic. So yeah, Dee and I, we've done a whole number of like pitches and stuff. Even for the holidays, we've pitched kind of like Christmas installments of things that we like. So we're doing yet another one.
Galaxy. I think we did. Did we do Spider-Man yet?
Yeah, we did something in the Spider-Man Homecoming continuity. The MCU Spider-Man. Yeah, we've done like Bates Motel. We've done like kind of Christmas prefixes on on various shows.
Not Christmas related, folks. We're going to take a basically something that we've held near and dear to our hearts for the past decade, at least in kind of like the internet fan film community, the internet like fan criticism community. We're going to be taking a look at the story of the fall of Channel Awesome, the fall of the nostalgia critic, the kind of building up that empire and then seeing it all come crumbling down. And we're going to be doing that on Friday night. We're going to be having a supersized podcast. Probably is going to, I'll be honest with you guys, it's probably going to be about 3 hours long. But,
it's our first collaboration on a pitch. Usually Tiki and I have a separate kind of pitch each, and we kind of rival each other on like what our pitch is for the tradition. This is the first time we kind of work together on this. So
yeah, and I'm really excited. We have an awesome cast lined up that you'll have to wait till the show to get revealed who's playing who, except for one pivotal casting choice that we'll reveal here, Dragon.
We gotta give you guys some reason to look into this and some reason why it's all relevant here.
And that's why we need to talk about Ryan Gosling's funeral this week, because the man behind the tie, Dragon, the man behind the glasses, that guy with the glasses himself, Mr. Doug Walker, the star of our Channel Awesome biopic entitled, appropriately enough, Not So Awesome, is going to be none other than Mr. Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Folks, if you're wondering what the heck, what were they thinking?
Dragon, actually, yeah, hype it up, and then I'm going to pull up the image you sent me.
Yeah, folks, I mean, if you're wondering to yourself, like, what the heck, what on earth were they thinking? Gosling, I mean, yeah, he was great in
the pretty boy.
Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He can't do, internet, building an internet company. He can't do any of that. I mean, yeah, Gosling, he was great in The Nice Guys. He's funny and crazy, stupid, low, Blade Runner 2099. Yeah, he did a bunch of stuff.
Everyone likes to shit on him in La La Land, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care about the haters. I still love La La Land.
We got Mr. La La Land for the nostalgia critic. That's not timely at all. Anyway, so if you're
La La Land has experienced like one of the biggest everybody has turned on that movie. It's crazy.
Really? You mean people really? I watched it because after Tiki hyped it up to me, I watched it. I liked it. I mean, I'm really shocked by all this.
You're not over the moon about it like I am, but
well, sure. I mean, I liked it though. I mean, I was like, I see. I was hoping that basically we had the big Oscar fake out. I was like, oh yeah, I was kind of pulling for La La Land in that.
All right, so Dragon, I'm going to show the people exactly why we need to have Ryan Gosling as Doug Walker.
Here's some visual proof, folks. If you want more.
Louder than words, folks, all right? You ready for it, Dragon?
I'm ready for it.
Boom. Doug Walker in the rain after everything's gone down. He's just like, my God, my empire is just crumbling down all around me.
Yes. So, folks, if you want, that's the visual explanation. If you want more, you're gonna have to watch the thing, kind of allow us to defend our choice and such, but and kind of sell you on the premise of what we're kind of building together on the pitch for Not So Awesome, coming to an imaginary theater near you.
Okay, Dragon. So after all that is done,
let's
get to the actual let's get to the actual sketches. Let me
Gosling fan casting aside, let's get back to our feature presentation. The kind of hype the Disney thing we're going to be covering next. Our feature. You remember that from all the
Oh,
VHS tapes?
of course.
But anyway, says on to Gosling's funeral. So here's so this episode, this installment was the 29th. Was Just Giggle It sketch number 29. It was written, directed, and edited by the man himself, Joshua Thomas.
And I'm just gonna put a note out to Joshua himself. I need to know where this idea came from. I am dying to know where this idea came from. I need to know the conversation that led to this. Please, by all means, regale us in the comments. I'm sure it's a fun story.
So, from what I can gather, this is really kind of a comedic what-if premise of let's just kind of again my interpretation of where this came from, because Joshua Thomas holds the answers here. And by all means, if you got a theory, just lay it out there. My imagining is this. Let's see. My imagining is that okay. So Ryan Gosling. You know what? I like that guy. You know, what if we killed someone off and had a funeral for a celebrity? Like, let's not get like kind of like a Tom Hanks type movie. Everyone would cry. You can't make a light of Tom Hanks' funeral. Well, who's a celebrity who's kind of he's beloved.
Like him, but it's like he's not like the most popular guy in the world. But generally speaking, he's super talented and he's gonna do a reliable job in everything he's in.
Exactly, because you do like a huge kind of A-list star, like like a Hanks that's like we all go in the morning like John F. Kennedy. It's you can't quite do that. So you need like a lower tier, but again, still like in kind of the facial recognition of Hollywood. It seems like it's that Gosling guy, yeah. So my guess is they were kind of looking for a celebrity. They again probably have seen like something like Crazy Stupid Love or I don't know. Do you know what year this one came out? I know the next one we're going to talk about came out in 2015. This is 29, so this has to be early on. If that one was okay, the next one's 46. This one's 29, so it has to be before 2015. So anyway, point is years ago. I mean, can you think of any Gosling movies that came out in kind of like the 2015 range?
2015,
like 2014 or 2015.
La La Land was last year, or was that 2016?
I think that was
2016.
Yeah,
last year was Shape of Water.
Exactly. So yeah, you're right. 2016. So let's see, maybe like 2014 or 2015. Any big Gosling movies you can think of?
Crazy Stupid Love was like the big one. But that was like before 2015. I want to say.
When was The Nice Guys?
Actually, I think The Nice Guys might have been 2015.
Really?
You know what, Dragon? Just.
Okay, well the point is, folks.
Let's just dive into the recap, like kind of set us up, and I'm gonna look at his IMDb and see if we can nail this down. All right. Sure.
And essentially, folks, what I'm saying is, it's a what if. They probably saw Gosling saying kind of, I imagine, like a light bulb moment happen where let's kind of. It's a clever satire they kind of took from just kind of pulling a random celebrity, and basically it's kind of a really clever kind of true to life satire, like what people do. And again, if we've learned anything from the acclaimed Netflix show 13 Reasons Why, is that when someone dies, everyone makes it about
for season 2 of that show, by the way.
I just love this dropping randomly, but let's not fall down a rabbit hole 13 Reasons Why right now. The point is, like 13 Reasons Why, if we learned anything, is that when someone dies, when someone dies and it's a big spectacle, when someone dies and it's a big kind of it's an event, everyone tries to make it about themselves. And we take that idea that's kind of enabled truth in real life. It's a sad fact. People do make it about themselves. And we kind of look at the funny side of that. Okay, basically, we're going to use a celebrity, we're going to use their name, and their name is basically going to be attached to who these people are. Well, none of these characters have names except with their prefixes, aside from, I'm Ryan's this, Ryan's that. Because, again, you attach yourself to the person at the funeral. In this case, the person is someone famous. So in terms of a premise, I just love that, okay, that makes it a little bit more than just kind of, it makes like, it's heightened enough to not be relatable, but by the same token, it can skirt around the relatable undercurrent of we make death about ourselves. And before we care about the person, we're kind of caring about how that person affected us. And we're making it funny by making it kind of someone a little bit more unattainable, by making it like a celebrity, like, oh yeah, that celebrity had friends and family. Because let's face it, like I know from Hollywood Babylon, always take note of like when they get to the Tinseltown Stiffs segment where they're covering the dead celebrity of the week. And it's like, oh my god, so it's so sad. Again, you're thinking about it, it's on your mind. So when a celebrity dies, it's news, therefore it's on everybody's mind.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I guess
So looking at his IMDb, the only thing that came out in 2018, in 2015, at the tail end of 2015, was The Big Short.
hmm.
And I've never seen it. I've heard it's like a.
Oh,
I know
I've seen it.
hates it.
I've seen it. It's good.
Hmm.
I
Well,
think I can't remember him really kind of.
likes it, but anyways, anyway, it doesn't matter. Let's dive into it.
All right. Okay. So, you want to start us off, or should I?
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get to my notes really quick. Okay, so yeah, it starts off with like a really somber, like organ music. We see this picture of Ryan Gosling, like we see the memorial being held, and then
By the way, I love to use like the worst photo of Ryan Gosling. By the way, that cracked me up. It's like usually like a high school yearbook photo or something. It just
right.
look. I don't know what it is. It might just be me. I just think it looks terrible in that photo. It's just like the most un-Gosling looking photo. Because yeah, it's Ryan Gosling. You can tell it's him, but it's like the most like almost unrecognizable Gosling could be as himself. At least as we see him today. Like no facial hair. He's got the really short hair. It looks okay. It's Gosling-esque, but it's anyway. So again, there's making this even funnier, like building up the ridiculousness of this. And again, we're doing something that again happens a lot of the time where there's sometimes celebrities will have fake deaths and always have to say, "Hey, I'm alive." In this case, of course, Gosling's it's kind of the funniest version of doing. It's like the most elaborate version of pulling a stunt like that, where we say someone's dead. Ryan Gosling's funeral. Oh, you fell for it, but no, my God, you had so much fun while you're falling for it.
Mm.
So,
So as you
we see.
said, we start. All the characters are just Ryan's, like how they're related to Ryan. So we have Ryan's girlfriend and Ryan's brother to start things out.
Okay, so real quick, let me say this. So, first of all, if we learned that Ryan's cremated, and he's an urn on the table, and I want to say this, I love that we really only do two shots in this whole thing. I love the framing on this. I really do. I love that we have this singular framing where Ryan is in the middle, and everyone's gathered around him, like kind of this four-person. Well, again, it's going to get larger as it goes on, but I just love it's almost like a very single shot gag. And again, just we have this shot or like kind of the one like side shot in kind of the post credit gag.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I love it. I love how simplistic it is here. And again, it's like the performers are doing all the work and kind of selling you on this very simple gag. So again, it's a very performance driven piece. When you
Let's
only have
kind of
like
talk
one.
about the buildup of this, because I feel like much in the same way a lot of other sketches that we've covered have done. This has a really nice kind of like ramping up of the humor. I feel like this is kind of similar to it's not quite as like scientifically perfect as Pretty Flowers, but it's kind of in the same vein.
T, I'm so glad you brought that up because let me tell you one of my favorite things about this sketch is that I love that, like Pretty Flowers, it has like an old vaudevillian kind of
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
vibe
it's
to
got
it.
like the setup and payoff going for it.
Exactly, and you're right. See, here's the thing: it feels very much like, as I mentioned, with Pretty Flowers, it has almost like a Flugel Street vibe. Where you have Lou Costello, or like kind of like take your Laurel and Hardy dynamic, or like let's just say from what I'm familiar with, they have Lou Costello. He's been Abbott gives him some hats to sell, and he goes on the streets and says, "Hey, would you like to buy a Susquehanna hat, or in this case, like, can you tell me where Flugel Street is?" And he just keeps getting the business by whoever passes by. And in this case, you have like another vaudevillian thing where okay, you have your main gag where it's basically we know the answer to this, so we know what's coming, but we keep growing the gag and growing it. I guess the more apt comparison is like the Marx Brothers with the one hard boiled egg gag. They're all in this really tiny room. We just keep piling people into this room as they're ordering lunch. It's a gag that keeps on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, it's the same. It's like nothing new is really being added. It's just okay. It's more hard, like ordering more food and having more people crammed into the room. It's kind of like that. So it's old school humor. I really love that. So yes. All right. So yes, we meet Ryan's girlfriend and Ryan's brother. So let's see. There's a lot hilarious. So his girlfriend is portrayed by Nicole Stone, who was in One Night Stand, by the way.
Mhm.
And we have his brother. His brother is, I believe, Sethward Allison. If I hope I'm saying Allison, or it's spelled like Allison, but it's an extra L, so I guess it's Allison. So anyway, we have Sethward here, and Sethward. By the way, tell me, did Sethward remind you a little bit of Ward Meacham?
Ward Meacham. Okay, first of all, just kind of Dragon and I are like two of the only people on the internet who defend Ward Meacham as a character.
He defends him more, but I want to make that clear. He defends him more. I defend the latter.
Ward was like the one reason I was like actually watching an Iron Fist by the end of it. All right,
he has a love fest for Ward Meacham. I liked what they did with him towards the second half. All right,
all right. Anyways, yeah, I could see Ward Meacham.
Yeah, I like, in addition to the Ward Meacham kind of vibe with the brother, I do like that he vaguely sounds like Ryan Gosling. I like that. Again, it's kind of like you buy it as a brother, not as the not as the guy, though. You know.
Yeah.
So they gather around. They're kind of introducing themselves, and
I grew up with him. Oh, did you go to school with him? No, I'm his brother.
And let's see. So, I haven't met you before. This is, oh yeah, he was always he was never ready to introduce me to the family. So he was always going to, and never did. Says, oh, he's probably keeping you to himself. Typical Ryan. So that's the sell line of the whole thing, by the way. Typical Ryan. And again, that's the perfect line. That's again it encapsulates that satire. Like, hey, here's people making about themselves with kind of like, yeah, typical Ryan. That's the phrase you say to intimate, oh, I had a personal relationship with that person.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's such a fun phrase, typical Ryan. Again, when people are saying in unison, it gets funnier. And as he says that, I love this. And I don't know if you read this the same way, but I love that the brother is making a move on the girlfriend as he moves closer to her. And he's like,
oh, yeah, totally.
So it's like, as he says, typical Ryan, again, the sell, like, oh, yeah, we're both mourning him. But he's saying it in a way of like, hey, I'm using this as an opportunity. All right. So
Ryan's sister enters.
Yes, Ryan says. Okay, by the way, I looked into this in real life. What I could find, Ryan Gosling has an older sister in real life. He has no brother, but he does have an older sister.
So I like how we have Ryan's sister, Ryan's girlfriend. This really made me laugh, Dragon. Like the brother just feels the need to chime in, even though we already know this information. I'm Ryan's brother.
Hey, this is how you do an exposition dump in a funny way, folks. They introduce people and reintroduce people to other people. It's one like a Brady's Bunch of all the people that knew Ryan Gosling. Anyway, on like little blocks saying, Ryan's girlfriend and Ryan's brother, something like that. All met each other at Ryan's wake.
And then the grocer and his hairstylist.
The baker, the butcher, and the salesman.
All right.
all right, let's see. Getting back on point. So basically, they're all essentially using this wake as like a social function, in like a meet and greet, with the typical Ryan line. It's like the affirmation. So let's see again. So we've met the girlfriend. She's meeting the sister and says, to be fair, like, oh, I had no idea you were his girlfriend. Says, well, to be fair, I heard all about you. And they all, typical Ryan.
And
again, this is so well timed. So now it's in unison when they're saying typical Ryan. The minute they say that, we then hear, that son of a.
And enter the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Joshua Thomas as the best friend. The anguished best friend. I love we're kind of taking a cliche. The anguish is always that one guy at the funeral. There's always that one guy who's taking it hard and kind of making a show out of himself, him or herself. In this case, Joshua Thomas.
Why'd you have to go and do it? Huh? Why'd you have to go and die? Your butthole.
This is the thing that cracked me up about this. I love this. Is losing my mind over when I was watching. I think the thing I probably laughed hardest at was, a drunk Joshua Thomas coming there with probably like a bottle of Jack Daniels, it looked like. And he puts the bottle down and he's cradling and handling the urn with the corpus delicti in it. And he's like shouting at it and he's like, your butt. And he opens your butthole. I love that he opens the lid of the urn to make sure that he can hear him. it's a morbid, like it's a morbid Foster Brooks drunk man routine. You know, it's like a Red Skeleton movement almost.
You
Like
always have to have the right word, huh?
the last word, Tiki.
Oh, last word, right? Sorry.
Yeah, it's just. So he's upset with Ryan dying on him.
Typical right. And I love how he can't finish the catchphrase.
Typical Ryan. Of course, he stops himself to introduce him. I just love the civility guy. The civility, like, oh yeah, so I was Ryan's best friend. He says, and like, yeah, we know. Ryan's girlfriend, Ryan's brother, sister. It's lovely. He's introduced again. We see that he definitely was the best friend. He's not just saying it was the best friend. Like, he knows the brother and the sister.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
And
So,
girlfriend too, right? Like he's kind of like the mutual connection between all these characters. Did I get that right?
you know what? I, I'm sure the girlfriend knew about him, and I guess I don't know if he met her. I mean, he knew about her, so I don't know if he met her before. But yeah, it sounds like he raised the connecting point. He is the middle ground. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So I love this. He does like kind of like an old like a reality show drink. You know, like kind of like drinking like drink to your health, that sort of thing. He drinks to the seeing Ryan's sister naked. And of course, I love this is what kind of saves a gag like this. It could be like a cheap gag, but although we see the sister actually in the scene, like being embarrassed and like, oh, so regretful. All right, so he's hammered, and again, as he said that, as he's been like more, in mourning, but still a little vaguely belligerent. He hammered. He puts his arm around the girlfriend and trying to make him move. Like, guess I'm gonna have
to take over.
And of course, now our Mord Meacham fill-in here, Ryan's brother.
No. Let's not.
All right, okay. Well, Brian's brother, again, I love this touch that he kind of whisk her away to his side, one to get her away from the drunkard best friend, but mainly to get her closer to him.
All right, anyway. So it's at this point, Dragon, that the sketch goes off the rails in a good way.
And again, this is the classic just giggle at Stanford. Let's crank it up to 11. Let's keep it going. Again, kind of that Marx Brothers, like in one hard-boiled egg and 3 hard-boiled eggs, that sort of.
All right, so the college roommate enters.
I'm sorry, real quick before the college roommate. I just want to say this about Joshua Thomas, and I don't know if this. I'm going to read into something here real quick. I kind of noticed something in this that Joshua Thomas, kind of how he presents himself, and how he kind of acts in a lot of sketches. I got to tell you, he's got kind of a. I don't know if maybe subconsciously made him pick Ryan Gosling. He can answer this. But I gotta tell you, he kind of carries himself like a Gosling. He has the Ryan Gosling. He has the confidence of Ryan Gosling. I could picture him doing like a nice guy's version of that, or like crazy stupid love Ryan Gosling. That I could see Joshua Thomas kind of embodying.
I don't necessarily think I could see Joshua Thomas doing Driver Ryan Gosling. I could see him a parody of Driver Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying, kind of has that confidence that way he carries himself. Maybe he's like, you know what? I like that Ryan. I don't know why. I like
not Driver. His character in Drive. His
Drive. I know he's not.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that's the name of the character. That's the name of the movie. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just correcting myself. Anyways.
All right, okay, let's see. So anyway, now we have everyone under brother. No, not that brother.
The college roommate comes. Yes. And then we get like sister, brother, girlfriend.
Yep.
And then there's another person in the room, Dragon, someone who no one recognizes.
Well, let's build to that for a moment. Okay, so I love how they all introduce themselves like a roll call at this point. And so after that, we address the next man here. I love we have this great pause, drawing focus. And I love that again. We take the music out in this moment. So again, all focus is drawn on this guy in the middle. And again, they have great command over their frame for this. Where again, like the urns in the middle, but now we have a new character in the middle, and we're just drawing our attention to that in a really straightforward way. And then, let's see. So the college roommate is played by Carrie Farlow the fourth, I think. Carrie Farlow. The fourth, yeah. Fancy. He's an Esquire at the end of that. Carrie Farlow the fourth, Esquire. Anyway. And we have another actor. We have Sharik. I'm sorry, I meant to look up how to pronounce that beforehand, but we have the grocer. Ryan's grocer.
Oftentimes, I would bag Ryan's groceries.
All he doesn't introduce himself as the grocer. He gives that line, then he introduces himself through the whole like, when I used to bag Ryan. Again, he gives like an epic like, I knew him better than anyone in the delivery, which is great. By the way, that actor, I think this guy and another guy we're going to meet in the next sketch. I think we're going to see him in more sketches as we go forwards. And Cigar here, I can't be able to pronounce it. Well, the point is, this actor, he reminds, he looks, I know you don't watch show. If you ever look up the image, if we never, for that biopic one of these days, Tiki, for that biopic.
What, the Just Giggle It biopic that we're going to indulge ourselves in one day?
Yes, well, you know who we're casting as Piper Ensign. We're casting Sarah Goldberg as Piper Ensign. Anyway, if we ever do that, he looks identical to Ravi from iZombie, the actor that portrays Ravi, one of the morgue attendants and one of the main characters in iZombie. Looks identical to that guy. Anyway, fun fact. Okay, yes. So then basically with the grocer here, now things turn into like a relationship measuring contest.
Well, I was a pretty close friend to Ryan. And then Joshua Thomas comes in. Well, I was his best friend.
And then, okay, this line, like your typical Ryan's is like the line of the thing, but my favorite line is this one right here. He was like a brother to me. I am Ryan's
brother.
That's what made me laugh. That's my favorite line. I am Ryan's brother. So the sister reigns in the group and says, look, it's not a competition. This is his wig for God's sake. And besides, I was Ryan's sister and he loved me the most. And again, technically the only actual sibling in all this. So technically she wins.
Right. I'd like to think that's some deep cut research on their end.
I'll give them credit on it.
Anyways.
All right, let's see. Oh, okay. So, what does Ryan's girlfriend use?
I have Ryan's baby inside of me.
Again, classic let's anti up comedy with Just Giggling. It's wonderful.
And then, who more important than the mother of Ryan's child than Ryan's third grade science fair partner?
Yes, and then again, it basically gets more and more ridiculous from this. Actually, we have both guest stars from Serial Mom.
Oh yeah.
We have let's see. So we have we have Julian Silver as the third grade science partner, and we have as the hairstyle we have Jamie Cox, which thankfully Josh Thomas has confirmed that's how you pronounce her name, Jamie Cox as the hairstylist, and then this one cracked me. Okay, so short of I am Ryan's brother, this is my favorite line, my favorite delivery in the thing. I love. It's so funny. Piper Henson. I'm Ryan's girl on the side. She says it with such confidence. It's like, yeah, I'm Ryan's girl. I was Ryan's girl on the side. She's always so nonchalant, just kind of happy about that. And it kind of reminds me of something from the Suicide Squad, a Hell to Pay movie. Remember when Greg Grunberg, who sounds remarkably like young Mark Hamill, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole again. But the point is, Greg Grunberg playing Dr. Fate in that movie. Remember he had that whole Fate. After the whole "I was Fayetteville," he went into like the reason how he ties into the Get Out of Hell free card. Again, folks, check out the movie if you want to know more about that. We don't have time to plug that. We're only plugging Just Giggle.
I mean, it does kind of tie into Just Giggle because of Harley Quinn. So
right, we plugged it there. Well, we plugged it there too, so we're covered either way. The point is, Dr. Fate has that line where he's saying, "So I call my girlfriend tells me the government's after."
Oh yeah.
So then I call my side chick. So we can mention like an actor calling a side chick. It's like, oh my god, oh, that Piper Henson. She's tying in just kind of comedy relevance for us right now. Oh, wonderful. Okay, so then, so then I believe Ryan's priest. Don't call him that. I'm just going to assume Ryan's priest. Ryan's priest. Played by Chuck. We're going to see this guy a couple times. I've seen like him in the thumbnail for a few things. About one of these days, we're going to get to him. Chuck. I don't want to say Al McWiggin, but Chuck Wigginton. That's the guy's name, Chuck Wigginton. He plays Ryan's priest. He kind of calms the room, gathers the room for a prayer from it. Here's another one of the great lines here, folks. One of the top 3 lines. Ryan's God. That's for a prayer from Ryan's God. So it's. And again, this is the hilarious it's the example, and this is an example when Just Giggle in the past was something like One Night Stand, which we loved. I loved in the direction and everything. But again, they kind of ramp things up where they kind of paint themselves into a corner with
They
that
didn't
last.
really know where to go with it at the end. Yeah.
But this, on the other hand, it's kind of a twofold thing. Where here, I think they have an ending and it absolutely works. You know, Ryan's got because that's the highest you can go with that, and it's still funny. And here's the thing: I would make the argument you don't need the following gag. You don't need it, but it doesn't hurt
You know
anything. It's
what?
still
I kind of agree, and I gotta say, I'm not really a fan of the follow-up gag.
well. Here's the thing. Okay, a reason I think you and I don't care for it. At least I can. The reason I don't care for it is because I don't get it, and that's not saying it's
I
not
don't
funny.
get it either, and I'm sure Joshua Thomas would be happy to clear it up.
That's the big thing I really want to know, by the way, from this one. I have a question here and I have a question for the next sketch. One big one's been aching me because I looked at this because again we have a line that sounds very much. Here's the line. Okay, so anyway, we have kind of our classic post-credit gag, and we have on almost every one of the Just Giggle videos where they're telling people to subscribe, and they'll have like a little kind of like
Well,
a
this is
post.
like one of the longest post-credits thing we have.
It is, it is. So basically, the priest is reading the prayer, and the prayer is something along the sides of, and I think I got the majority of it here. Well, in case you failed to notice, you see, this is my heart bleeding before you. This is me down on my knees. These foolish games are tearing me apart, and your thoughtless words are breaking my heart. So again, with the whole tearing me apart thing, I had to double check, like I think from here to eternity, to make sure it wasn't James Dean. You're tearing me apart. You know, it's not. But
I want to say it's song lyrics.
I mean, I looked again. It might be. I would be very impressed if it's a deep cut Ryan Gosling reference. It's from one of his movies or something. But again, I want to make it clear this. So again, you don't need this gag. And again, I think this is what One Night Stand kind of needed, where it's a gag that there's something funny about it, and the funny part is what follows the prayer itself when the brother and the boyfriend. Sorry, crap. Stupid abbreviations. The brother and the best friend. Sorry, folks. I try to squeeze it in on one page sometimes. Just got Ryan's brother and Ryan's best friend. They, they have the best friend looks at the brother and says, "What? You don't? Well, you never read the Bible?" And I love the brother's delivery here. Is that the Bible? I haven't read it in a while. Did it change? It's a great line because again, the gag is still there. Like, okay, this obviously isn't from the Bible. It's a deep cut reference of some kind. So I think they still
it must be something that either Ryan Gosling has done or Ryan Gosling is really into.
So I mean, that saves the gag, but doesn't.
I want to look into it and see if Ryan Gosling was ever in a band. Because if Ryan Gosling is in a band, was ever in a band, it could have been like a song lyrics from them.
It's probably a band that he liked, not a band that he was in.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, what I'm saying is again, I like that they have like insurance. This is like an insurance kind of stinger at the end, where again, if there's a gag there, and you know it's okay, there's reference inside, and that's kind of funny. Like these two characters kind of draw in reference to that. And again, it's like one if you get it, I'm sure it's hilarious. But again, for the majority of us, I would imagine it's a real 1%er joke. And again, so it doesn't kill the bit though. It doesn't kill the bit. And again, it's like it's after where the bit ends, so they're covered either way. So it's only gripe I have.
An abrupt ending like One Night Stand or the Walking Dead sketch.
Again, like the gag in One Night Stand is just like that's your last gag. It's like always your ending is gonna be the thing people come out of remembering most. If anyone's seen Infinity War, they definitely know that.
Oh God.
So it's important to nail your ending. Then in this case, again, we got our ending. We have like a little bonus, ending. All right, so final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. This isn't like in my top 5 of the sketches we've covered so far, but it's still really good. I got to admit that the premise intrigues me more than anything else about it. I'm really dying to know how it came about. But like you said, Dragon, it's got that good kind of back and forth, like really ramping up the humor, really kind of taking a simple concept and running with it. So yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, it's quality stuff.
Yeah, so I'd say it's not the most out of the things we've done, especially, but it's not the most impressive sketch. It's good. It's not the most dazzling, but boy, it's well executed and it's a well executed random idea. And I love that it's adhering to kind of the comedy basics. So I gotta love it there again, kind of the vaudevillian kind of Marx Brothers kind of classic kind of comedy formula, if you will. And again, I'm not saying it's like directly a Marx Brothers. I'm just trying to find a good, an apt comparison for it. So it's short, sweet. It's a real short, sweet, quick laugh. versus kind of the usual thing they do. Again, it definitely has like kind of that amping it up quality built into the comedy. It just doesn't go as extraneous. Like there's not exactly just it's a it's very simple and direct. And again, I'll echo Tiki's thought there. Again, riddle me this, Joshua Thomas. Why did you kill Ryan Gosling?
All right.
Why did you kill him, Thomas? He was a good man. We loved him in the Nice Guys.
Canada weeps, Joshua Thomas.
Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, so next up is Disney Princes in Real Life. This is one of my favorites, Dragon.
I was thinking about this recently, and Tiki, I can't quite recall. I mean, it's either after Harley Quinn, the Joker vs. the Real. This along with Making a Murder is probably the first of the videos I watched because again, the interest is kind of lying in those two. Or I might, in all honesty, because we'll get into it, the potential making up for this, and again, this is undoubtedly confirmed. I might have happened upon this before I even happened upon Harley Quinn and Joker vs. the Real World and watching a Disney parody of some kind.
Just kind of like it happened upon like in your sidebar or something like that.
Yeah, like that. Just like typing either Disney parody, like cracked parody, which kind of probably led me to like a bunch of other parodies, which might have been this. I can't quite remember. I think it's the first though. I think it's like just Giggle and this alone Making Murder is probably the first thing I checked out outside of the Harley Quinn and Joker of it all. I think that's what happened, but again, you never know, and that's feeding to my. So first and foremost, okay, so this is of course out of our format here. We got a sketch, we got a parody. Here's a parody. It's number 46 in the Just Giggle It line. This is again written, directed, and edited by Joshua Thomas. And the only thing we'll speculate on the making of my main question for Joshua Thomas with this whole thing, again, kind of like the other one in concept. So this is kind of a Disney parody of the Disney princes done by Just Giggle It, and you notice a number of Disney parodies online, and specifically like the group therapy parodies. And I'm wondering if this is maybe a direct response to any parody in particular, because here's the interesting thing to you. I looked into this, I did a cursory look, I tried to find out, because I knew I've seen a few versions of these. And again, it could just be like kind of great minds thinking alike, could be, again, such an insanely good premise, who wouldn't try to attempt it. I wonder if it's a response directly to a video that was a Disney princess support group. Because there's a video in the same year, 2015, released in August.
I certainly remember that, yeah.
There's one released that one was released in August. This one was released in September. Wait a minute. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to feel real foolish there for a second. But anyway, yes. Yes, there's a month differential there, but then again, you see like most recent years, again, they're doing that. So are they inspired by the Just Giggle It kind of group therapy session? Again, I'm not sure. I'm just wondering if they kind of got that from another sketch in particular they really loved and they wanted to do like their stab at it. Or
to be honest with you, I think the group therapy sketches in general are probably inspired by Wreck-It Ralph.
I know that's the other thing too. So again, it's like in general, it could just be like let's do a Disney parody, and if anything, Wreck-It Ralph in recent years before that, we got a kind of a bad guys anonymous meeting. In this case, hey, we got a Disney Princess Anonymous going on. So again, I'd like some clarification. Like, what is the origin of this, Joshua Thomas? Please regale us if you would be so kind.
Okay, so we start with all the princes gathering in a support group, kind of like Alcoholics Anonymous type setting. We have the 12 steps, Dragon. I actually took the liberty of writing these all down.
As did I.
12 steps.
As did I.
Okay, step number 1: admit your princess is more popular. Step number 2:
find hope.
Step number 3:
ride your horse again.
Ride your horse again. Step number 4, my personal favorite.
Yeah.
Direct-to-DVD sequels count.
They shouldn't, but yes, they can.
Step number 5, share your riches. Step number 6, look for a sidekick. Step number 7,
my second favorite.
Ask Disney.
Love that one.
Step number 8, make a list of villains. Step number 9, make amends.
I love that one in every 12-step room. That one's always the same. It's always step 9. I'm thinking of Seinfeld where George Costanza was harking over James Spader. James Spader was in Seinfeld for an episode. James Spader was an ex-alcoholic, and he had to make amends, and he didn't quite apologize to George for something, and he kept hounding him for it. Like, why didn't you apologize for this? You're making amends. It's your whole step. So it's step 9. They associate it with number 9. So number 9 is the same all over the place. Always making amends.
And then, what to do after you've ridden your horse, Dragon? Continue riding your horse.
Then
I actually had trouble with 11, Dragon. It's something.
Inner monologue.
Inner monologue, okay, because when I was writing it down, there's something that's blocking the second.
Well, yeah, it's a little bag on the snack table. I have like the little bag that's in the way. I'm pretty sure it says inner monologue. Otherwise, I saw inner and I saw M, so I think I filled in the blanks. Inner monologue.
And then what about the last one?
Oh, the same one. Sorry, the last one is. Oh yes, save someone.
Okay.
Initially, I thought it said before I had to go back and kind of decipher it. Because if in the wide shot you can read the whole thing, that's how you read that. So in the wide shot you can see everything, but in the close-up shot, though, I thought it said, because that bag's blocking, I thought it said save son. So I thought it was like, yeah, save your son.
God,
it was just really random. I was like, okay, I'll go with it. I'm not quite getting it, but okay. By the way, a little fun fact: when we see the snack table, I'm just read into this. I noticed there were bananas on the table, so part of me would like to infer that Tarzan has sometimes been to these meetings.
Or alternatively, that Aladdin sometimes brings Abu to the meetings.
Oh my God, that's so much better. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah, okay, I like that. That's good. I didn't think of that. I like that. All right. All right.
Okay.
Or wait a minute, maybe. Well, no, Mowgli. Never mind. Okay, I was gonna say Mowgli, but no, that doesn't make any sense anyway. Okay, so we have our lineup. Let's just go with them as they're revealed here. So we start with Joshua Thomas, and Tika had this visual. The first time I saw this video, Joshua Thomas is Eric. Eric from The Little Mermaid is hilarious because he's got kind of this wonky looking spray tan going on. He's got this wonky looking spray tan, and he got the really weird things that he has the eyebrows in like his ears are sticking out. He's got like the black wig on, but the eyebrows just sell it. The eyebrows and the spray tan kind of. Yeah, that's Eric. I love that. It looks like if the Disney princess, my favorite. I think we can agree the design work is fantastic in this. Everyone looks pretty on the money.
Oh yeah.
And by that token, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's as good as you can make it on a budget. It really is. I think our centerpiece character, he's pretty much like in jeans with.
Oh, he's spot on.
Yeah. But again, everything else. I mean, it looks like it's kind of taking like something recognizable and putting it into the real world, where it's like, yeah, it would look a little off in the real world. It's kind of like the whole. It's
not like kind of like just casting an A-list actor in a live-action Disney remake. It's literally like, okay, what would the cartoon character actually look like in real life?
I love that they attempted that. I love that they did that, and it's very honest to what that would pretty much what that would look like. On a budget. We're like, yeah, let's bring them into real life. When you do that, you have not an uncanny valley effect, but you have sort of a. It's like if you brought it like I've seen this like before. I can't remember where. I don't know if it was like attached to like some Barbie thing or whatnot, but it was like if you bring a design character into the real world, it's like a female, like a Disney princess, the eyes will be too big and the waistline will be off. So it's like something you can't, you can't do that, or else like they wouldn't be able to walk in the real world or something. It's like something along those lines. Anyway, so we have Eric. Eric is kind of the MC of the event here. He's kind of.
Can I just say, Dragon? I've always had a soft spot for Prince Eric.
I've liked. Here's the thing. I like Eric, but Little Mermaid's never been one of my favorites.
I totally agree with you. Little Mermaid is not one of my favorites.
I love how Little Mermaid looks. I love in the industry again, from Wake and Sleep and Beauty especially. I love the place that Little Mermaid holds in the history of. I respect the crap out. Like Glenn Keane's sequence on part of this. I love part of is it part of this world, part of your world?
Part of your world.
I love Part of Your World, and I love that scene. I love how it's animated and just that whole scene. Just the rest of it after that. It's like, it's good. It's not. I wouldn't own it. That's what I'm saying. I watch it.
What I like about Eric is that way before Aladdin, we had a prince who was kicking ass and taking names and had some genuine action sequences.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Anyway, yes. So Eric. Again, another big reason I like Eric is that he's voiced by the voice actor for Spider-Man. He's voiced by Christopher Daniel Barnes from the '90s Spider-Man show. So it's another reason I've always. Like Eric, but you're right, get stuff. Like, I like the romance of it. I was like, hey, Eric, is you a root for the guy? I don't know. Anyway, so he's calling the
Also, I
meeting.
had a best friend in college named, or in high school named Eric, so that might have helped. Anyways,
All right, fun fact. Okay, so Eric's calling the meeting to order again. Everyone looks again. They look so deliciously manufactured that they seem like, oh yeah, this is like kind of like a line of Disney leading men here. It's so it's hilarious, and just seeing them all gathered around here again, very Wreck-It Ralph style and concept, and wonderfully so if that's intentional. So yeah, like it's a subtle. It's a definitely it has to be like a subtle Wreck-It Ralph call would be my bet. So let's see. Now, okay, but the premise for this whole thing is, well, I want to say it makes all the sense in the world. The prince that the Disney princes would develop an inferiority complex, and I love that with all of these characters, and that's what Eric really kind of starts with, and kind of welcome everybody to the meeting. And that again, I love that with the bad guy anonymous, it makes sense that you'd have if you're not a bad guy but you're labeled a bad guy, it makes all sense in the world for Wreck-It Ralph. In this case, yes, it makes all sense in the world. So this is playing with a logical logic with it, which, as you know, is one of my favorite things to do in storytelling, specifically in animation when we do that. So we do that here, and it's great from the start.
mm-hmm.
He's calling the meeting to order, and of course, periodically, we have like a here and Tiki. Thanks, Ping. So this is right off the bat. We have a hilarious.
Honestly, that here, thank you, Ping. That is definitely this sketch's equivalent to typical Ryan.
It is, and like right off the bat, like if you've seen Mulan, if for some reason you haven't seen Mulan, you're in for you're gonna be scratching your head like, what are they doing here? If you've seen the movie, you're just like, oh my god, yeah.
Who the heck is Ping?
Yeah, why is Ping so effeminate? What's going on here?
All right.
But yeah, it's hilarious. Just a hilarious joke. Visually, right off the bat, if you know Mulan, and everyone loves Mulan. They won't admit, but they love Mulan.
It's funny. I feel like Mulan is like the Disney movie from the 90s that it's like way more popular now than it was when it first came out.
That's what I'm saying. Now everyone's like saying, oh yeah, I love Let's Get Down to Business. No one would admit it back then. It's a thing.
All right.
All right, let's see. BD Wong, guys. BD Wong.
Dragon, I just want to say we've kind of spent a little too much time on shameless self-promotion because we're running a little behind schedule, so just keep that in mind.
I blame you for that gossiping of it all, but all right.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyways.
All right, okay, well, we'll speed through this. Anyway, so Eric voices that, he killed the fat witch, but the princess gets all the glory. The crab gets more. One of my favorite lines is, I killed that fat witch, but the crab gets more screen time than me.
Which is definitely statistically factual.
I know, and I love that. It's like, yeah, it's like, what am I? Yeah. So let's see. I'm
really pulling for Lin-Manuel Miranda to be Sebastian in the remake, by the way.
Oh god. Anyway, so so Aladdin, he interrupts and he's basically he's taking Eric down a peg, and I love that Aladdin. There's a lot of machismo in the room here. It makes sense. A lot of Disney male testosterone in the room here. They're calling each other out, and Aladdin's so standoffish.
Shut up, Aladdin! You don't talk to me like that, you fish fuck.
Yep, and so I love that Aladdin barely counts because again, he's the title character before he's a prince. He's not even a real prince.
Person that's like there to kind of rub it in everyone's faces. He doesn't really need the support group. That's kind of how I read his character.
Exactly, that's the thing. I mean, Aladdin, though, here's the thing: he's there as charming and Eric kind of pointed out, is that he's really there because Jasmine outsells Aladdin. Like everyone outsells Aladdin in the movie, the genie and especially Jasmine, so the young girls with the whole princess demographic. It's like, yeah, he gets overlooked in his own movie. That's the reason he's there, but he won't admit.
I mean, I would even wager to say even Carpet and Abu are more marketable than Aladdin himself.
Well, definitely the Carpet.
Anyways.
All right, so let's see. So again, one of my favorites in this whole thing. I love Charming. I love Prince Charming.
I will say though, visually, this is certainly not an act on the actor, but visually, I think it's probably it's not inaccurate, but I think it's the least spot on out of them.
I really just honestly, I think the unnamed prince is the most. He has the cape. It's just like he's just kind of wearing jeans with the stuff like a shirt over it. That's everyone else is like in a costume.
Aw.
I'm just saying, again,
What
point
I
is, I
like
thought
about the unnamed prince though is that he's got kind of the weird face like the Disney prince does.
that's true. He does. I think the face is spot on for that. You're
Oh,
right about that. But I don't know. I think overall, everything was pretty on the money there.
look,
But
like I said, I'm not knocking the charming guy, but
anyway, so again, Prince Charming, who I've definitely developed a great fondness for. Again, I'm gonna have to blend them when we get to the unnamed Prince. But on the whole, I've enjoyed Prince Charming from Once Upon a Time. Josh Dallas, I love Josh Dallas and Once Upon a Time. So I definitely developed a fondness for Prince Charming. And in the Cinderella movie, I liked Prince. I loved Kit, the Prince Charming in that movie too. He was good. So.
uh-huh.
Anyway, so in this eye as well, I do love Charm more so for his role here, where again he has the pedigree, and he essentially Charming's always been what we definitely do with him here. He's the good version of Gaston, or Gaston's the evil version of Prince Charming. He's the good version of the ideal that women have for Prince Charming. And I love that he's sticking up for Eric, very heroic. He looks a lot like, and there's a glowing comparison I want to make for Just Give, because these guys really proven themselves and proven this, that these guys really are the Mr. Show for YouTube. I think they are. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think, as I was saying, of course, a complimentary way, because this guy too, and bringing that up, is that the actor here, he looks so much like Jay Johnston from Mr. Show, the guy from that the interrogation sketch, the criminal interrogation sketch. Anyway, moving on. So again, I love that he's the old school '50s Prince. It's like, tell your girl to put on a shirt, Aladdin. it's so 50s old school, which is where Prince Charming from the '50s Cinderella movie came from. Again, we call out like, why the heck is Aladdin here? And Eric justifies it. He's fair and cool headed about saying, no, Aladdin he's welcome here. He's got a place here. Here again. Thanks, Bing.
Here. But then Aladdin is just he's just really on the nose, because he, not only does he call Eric a fish fuck, but he also says, tell your, what kind of bitch puts glass on her feet.
Yeah, that was uncalled for, man.
Right.
I liked Aladdin, but this is changing my whole attitude on Aladdin.
Well, I said, I think the whole joke is that he's just kind of going there to troll everybody.
At the very least, he's definitely very insecure about himself. He was like, "Hey, I'm important."
So he says he's the only one there who deserves his own movie, which
the minute it enters your mind, we then see the great Alex Poncio.
Oh my god, Poncio is Beast Dragon. It's just another Poncio moment of perfection.
He looks great, and honestly, again, within reason, they did an excellent job in bringing the Beast to life. What you can do, again, like, yes, there's an exposed neck, and obviously the fingers are fake, but it looks on the money, though. Again, overall, very faithful recreation. I mean, they give him the purple cape and the white shirt for a change. You never see that when we do the Beast, It's always like Dan Stevens and CGI, It's always what we do with the Beast.
Anyway. Well, I mean, in the one Disney canon remake we've done, yes, that is the one time we've had him, but that's oddly specific.
Okay, technically we've had other Beasts, but it's always been like, it's technically not like the traditional Beast. It's always been like, here's the.
Can I just say, like, fuck that movie, fuck Dan Stevens. That movie just, I hate that movie. Anyways,
I'm just saying, Dan Stevens and other things. He's a nice guy. So.
He makes a terrible Beast, though. He's a horrible Beast.
All right, so. Let's see. So again, so Charming here, and I thought it was such a clever bit in the writing here. I love that he's living down the perfect ideal of man. He's like a humble Gaston here, where it's like he's living down being the perfect ideal of a man in women's eyes.
No, it's just girls. They spend their whole life looking for me, and how am I supposed to live up to the expectation of that?
And you take it away. So the Beast interjects again, Poncio here, and I love that Poncio does sound like legitimate, like the Beast here. It's like, yeah, that's the Beast with really human problems.
Oh, you sound like a skinny kid complaining to a fat kid.
But I can't lose an ounce. I can't put on an ounce. And
I'm a beast. God damn it! I look at myself in the mirror, and I know I'm a beast. I can't even scratch my own balls without bleeding.
Okay, now here's my gripe about this. Okay, so funny line's fine. We did not need the visual.
No, we really did. We also didn't really need Eric being like, Beast, did you just scratch your balls?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We have a ball scratching joke that follows this. That's a lot funnier. than that. So again, like I was mentioning it and then doing the one of the following gags. That works. I'm just saying we didn't need like one, it shows that you have the fake fingertips, and then secondly, you have blood on the fake finger. It's kind of gross. Like, do we really need that? I mean, mentioning it's funnier. Again, it's in concept. It's like the old anything you can imagine in your mind's a lot funnier than it's more horrifying or more funny than you can imagine. So I don't know. It's like I'd edit that one out. But again, it was just anyway.
So then in comes someone that people aren't necessarily familiar with.
Well, they're familiar with, but they're not as familiar as they'd like to imagine.
This dude literally has 2 brief scenes in the movie he's in, Dragon. He has like less than 5 minutes of screen time. Like he literally comes in, startles Snow White at the wishing well. Like Snow White runs away, never sees him again until the end of the movie, where he's just like, "Oh, there's the girl that I scared off at the beginning of the movie. I guess I'll give her a kiss."
Yes. Now again,
that's literally this guy's entire character arc.
Yet he was the first guy, though. He was the first. I mean, he was there.
To be fair, they did storyboard a sequence where he was trapped in the witch's fortress thing, whatever, and he had to escape. So they did want to give him more, but
and of course, when we get years later, when we do Sleeping Beauty, it's like, hey guys, we're just gonna be a little lazy about the kind of the plotting for this movie. We're gonna make the animation look fantastic, but plot-wise, character-wise, we got nothing. But can we just recycle some ideas from?
We got a cool villain.
Yeah, we got a cool villain.
Really dumb motivation.
Guys, we got a cool villain. We got Floyd Norman doing some spectacular in-betweens. Where this thing's gonna look fantastic, but let's
name a theme park icon after it.
That's the thing, guys. We love this. We love this movie. We love the things here, but we're burnt out on it. Honestly, we're burnt out. So we need some story ideas from like Snow White from back in the glory days. Can we just recycle a few of those? Remember how we ended Snow and you kissed her awake, or let's do that again.
right. Anyways,
the point of all that is again, later years, again, shows like Once Upon a Time kind of blended, kind of your Cinderella Prince Charming mainly with the Snow White Prince Charming, and they kind of mixed them together, and you get like a Josh Dallas fleshed out character that way. But again, as history exists in animation, nothing. You got nothing with the prince. But I hope he's a nice guy. He's again a good actor, spot on.
Like I said, the prince literally startles Snow White. She runs away, and then he comes up at the end of the movie. There's like a fascinating lack of development on this guy.
You want to be honest? He's a rotoscope guy in a cape, less interesting than the flesh of Superman. That's really what he is. It's like, hey, let's rotoscope a guy, put him in a cape, a red cape, but not Superman though. That's too good. Anyway, okay, but in all seriousness, so Snow's Prince makes a profound point about it's family.
Families neglected us, but we don't neglect each other.
Yeah, which is nice, and it's like that's it.
Inspires Ping to say a little bit more than "hear, hear." She says, "Hear, hear." It's so true. We're men.
Yeah. So again, she's classic overcompensating in the comedy for maligning, and she's like, again, it's the old. Well, more on that later, but yeah, she's yeah. Let's see.
Eric is he kind of catches himself. He kind of backs himself into a corner. He's like, "That's a good point, Prince."
So they realize it's almost like a Penny from the Big Bang Theory thing, where we realize, oh my god, she's never had a last name. In this case, it's far worse than that. Where we realize, oh my god, in the history of the character's been around for 75 years, which I love that he highlights, by the way. The movie's 75 years old, and no one here knows my name. No one knows his name.
And then one of my favorite lines of the whole thing is Poncio as the Beast just saying, "Well, I wasn't gonna say anything."
Oh, Poncio. Great. So 2 things. So one, if you in the deep cut, technically there are 3 princes that have the name Charming. They're technically in their original storybook thing. They're Prince Charming,
which would be Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty.
Exactly, and the one that officially got the name Prince Charming was Cinderella.
And then in Sleeping Beauty, they named him Prince Philip.
Yes, but again, because that was just kind of later when we could do that. In the first movie, this kind of by the seat of their pants, fighting the bank on everything. They got okay. Well, we don't need to worry about it. People are just gonna be charmed by the 7 dwarves. Again, he only had 2 scenes. As Tiki said, he only had 2 scenes. So
that's what I'm saying, though. They're not even scenes. He literally has like a moment. Like go back and rewatch Snow White. He pops in for like 10 seconds.
You gotta remember. Folks, it's simple. You gotta remember, they weren't thinking of merchandising like they are now, so they didn't like think, oh, let's just name them in the credits so we
But
can
like I
make
said,
toys.
it's such a fascinating anomaly to me, Dragon. It really is quite fascinating.
It is, and again, like there was no scene where he's like introducing himself to Snow White. Therefore, he had no name in the credit except for Prince, not that Prince. So, um,
Oh, that'd
so
be an
yeah.
interesting remake.
However, technically, as again, if you do a real deep dive,
Could you imagine a Prince cover of One Love?
you mean as this Prince?
Yes, as this Prince.
Well, it'd be interesting to say the least.
It'd be funkadelic. Anyways.
Anyway, so if you do a deep dive, you might find like Shirley Temple. I think technically called the prince like Ferdinand once, which is kind of strange, but okay. But again, unless you do a real deep dive, you're not gonna. No one and their mother is gonna know who this prince is, and therefore gives us one of the great visuals we have before us this evening, where it says the movie's 75 years old. No one knows my name. They all pause and they all look to camera.
And of course, looking at the camera, it's like, you know who you are, Disney nerds.
Hilarious, just wonderful.
That is definitely the biggest laugh of the whole sketch for sure.
Absolutely. And again, then the Beast tries to kind of piggyback off this with the same gripe. Does anyone remember my name? I used to be beautiful.
And Trivia Dragon, the Beast name is Adam.
Yeah, folks, it's
And
nothing
you and I
more
both agree it's a very underwhelming name for the Beast.
because again, folks, again, just to emphasize why it's so underwhelming. Again, folks, you have like one of the most spectacular animated sequences. The sequence that was like, again, animated in black and white, and well, sorry, not did in the animatic phase, I guess, in the animatic phase, in the pencil sketch phase, all that movie was brought to like the New York or the was either New York or the L.A. Film Festival, I guess. Whenever it was first premiered, again, dazzled everybody. Everyone's so in love. Oh my God, we revealed the human form. No one cares about the name. And just like you have like a sequence like that, and then you realize Adam, that sequence was so fantastic, and his name's Adam. That's the best you got.
But hold on, let's kind of go back because you kind of skipped over another great Poncio bit. Poncio has a lot of good stuff in this.
Well, he always has good stuff, Tiki.
Of course. I'm just saying they give him a lot to do here.
Right.
So the first bit is where he's kind of guessing the prince's name. Are you Prince Steve? What about Prince Macaulay Culkin? No, that's a famous actor. Prince Home Alone? No, that's a movie. Prince Kevin McAllister. Why are you so hung up on this? I love that movie.
Okay, that is funny. Again, honestly, just Prince Steve cracks me up because honestly, I'll say I could buy it as a Prince Steve. I could buy it, because we never have just a Prince Steve,
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't that be great though for just like a kind of an average Joe name? Because it's underwhelming meets practical, like Adam's just like, I mean, that was like an epic moment in that movie. And the guy's just named Adam, where again, this guy's, he's an average Joe meets the prince. It's like he's living the dream. Let's call him Steve.
All right, and then going back to the Poncio moment you were talking about where he, Beast just kind of loses it like, oh, you want to talk about not knowing your name? Everyone just calls me Beast. You think I want to be called Beast? That like cracked me up, Drake. You think I want to be called Beast?
I'm not an X-Man.
You think I look in the mirror and I don't know that I'm a beast?
Oh, by the way, real quick, another Poncio bit I stole. He flipped off Ping from the other side, where basically, and again, this is the good callback to the ball scratch gag, where like Ping is like overcompensating, and then like basically Ping scratching his imaginary balls, and in doing so, just like he basically like, yeah, Beast, yeah, you and me, simpatico, and Beast flips him / her off. It's just that's a clever callback. Again, we're seeing it without like the whole bleeding implications. So it works a lot better now. Anyway, so back to the Beast. So then again, Ping. Speaking of Ping, the reason I'm bringing that up. So Ping has this great line where it says, again, this is like Undercover 101, where you're going undercover. You gotta basically put yourself beyond suspicion. You gotta act like one of the group where basically Ping all of a sudden has an opinion that obviously Ping should not be saying. Ping says, if you don't got a name, you're not a prince. And then the Beast does this. You can call me Beast. He's so He's so defeated. He's so okay. I tried climbing. I tried to die on this mountain. It was not worth it. I'm climbing back down. It's like you can call me beast. I don't want to be kicked out of the club. I don't want to be in the same boat as this guy. It's
Oh,
Adam.
and
Fine.
also trivia for all the Disney nerds out there. Snow White's prince is Ferdinand.
Yeah.
So yeah, see all those princes looking at the camera? They're looking directly at me. I am specifically what this gag is targeted at.
All right. Okay. So then Ping's voice cracks and saying he's a phony. And then it's like he's a phony, and then you're a liar. And of course, the voice cracks at the you're a liar. And then Eric has like this great wait a minute, and he basically does like an unmasking by unbunning the hair, like it's like the little the ribbon from the hair. So now like the hair falls down. It's like Mulan. I love the idea. Just the
Get out of here, Mulan.
the performance of that intimates to me that this is like a regular thing where Mulan, possibly through other disguises, tries to sneak into the group. That's my little headcanon. Like, oh, that Mulan, she's always sneaking in. I saved my country. Mulan, that's great, but again, not a prince. So you're not even a princess technically. You gotta get out of here.
Oh.
Anyway, so then to who's the last prince to arrive? We have an empty chair. You'll notice in the shot here. The empty chair is for someone very specific.
Yes, the empty chair is for Prince Naveen.
Yes, the Frog Prince. He arrives, and Tiga, this is an amazing feat of directing. No, folks, it sounds really simple, sounds really small, but in all seriousness, Frog arrives. We have some subtitles that say, "Sorry, I'm late, guys. Who's the guy in the cape?" One, that's a great line. Not even delivered. That's a good written line. And here's the directing marvel right here. So, either directing or editing, and both under kind of both in credit to Joshua Thomas on this one, I guess, but it's such a well captured and well timed moment of after the frog is basically looking one way as that line kind of comes up on screen. The frog then turns as if like like you're turning your head like kind of like as like a lingering moment of comedy. So it's like this like that turn then the Just Giggle jingle is like it's like yeah that's the ending right there when the frog turns like yeah who's that guy?
Uh-huh.
I was saying, yeah, that's like in training like an animal, the actual frog doing this, folks. You got to time that just right and kind of get the shot right there. It's impressive. All right, and they're all saying, okay, they're telling everyone to subscribe and thanks, Ping. Thank you, Ping.
Thank you, Ping.
Here. Yeah.
Here. All right.
All right. That's final thoughts.
Yeah, final thoughts. Honestly, Dragon, if I'm being completely honest, this sketch is just it's written for I am like exactly the demographic that this sketch is written for. And so this is probably my Making a Murderer, Dragon. Like this is probably my favorite sketch, honestly.
Well, your favorite parody, at least.
At the very least, my favorite parody. Yeah, at the very least. I mean, I love how deep cuts it goes. I love how it's not just like a surface level, like, oh, ha ha ha, Disney princes. I love how it's literally like it's written directly for people like us, Dragon. It's written directly for people who know all the obscure trivia and know that Beast's name is Adam and stuff like that. You know
that the Cinderella, the Prince Charming from Cinderella's name is Kit, something like that.
Yeah. And so I just love how they work that in there. It's just it's got such a sharp writing to it, and all the characterization is down pat. It's delightful.
Absolutely. For me, it applies illogical logic, which is definitely a favorite for me. Again, the logic, what would a Disney prince feel like? And yes, if you were a Disney prince, and you were in a world where the Disney princess is a hot commodity for Disney, you absolutely would have an inferiority complex. So I'm always a fan of just the illogical logic comedy. It's one of the big sells with Pixar and Toy Story for me. I always love that sort of comedy. So it's pretty on it's pretty on the money. Provides some rich kind of some comedy and some and reference to Disney and kind of what Disney's done. So it's great, kind of commentary and reference to Disney, I suppose. Again, I think they could have pulled back in some respects. Again, with like the ball scratch visually. We didn't. Again, that's the only. Look, I don't want to just harp on it. Again, folks, it's so good, so well done. It's like the only thing I can really gripe about. That's all. But again, it's way it's very impressive, very funny, and I'd love to see more Disney sketches and like more like therapy sessions if they want to do like a part two of this with other characters like Disney villains or something. I mean, I'm down for it. Again, it's been kind of done again. People they've done various Disney parodies, but believe me, I'm down for it. Just let's see what they do next.
All right, folks. So don't forget, if you comment and suggest some parodies for us to do, by all means, we'll do them and we will give you a shout out. But until next time, folks, that will do it for the Just Giggle It Grab Bag. We will be back next Tuesday for number 7. And yeah, you're here.
Thanks, Ping.